pressure on the table still. So now my verdicts are going to be almost useless. They cost 6 because it's going to go from 4 and then it's going to get counter magicked and go up to 6. Extinction will wipe out these guys. And you can see my card does cost more mana when I bounce it to my hand with that, but... Alright, Canarasaurus. So let's play this. Gain 4 more life, back up to 23. We know his last card is a dinger because it was the Vampire Princess that we turned into a 0/1. Kill. Yeah, I think I just have to clock him, so I'm going to counter magic this. The champions are all available right at the start, I'm pretty sure. I didn't have to pick any of them up. Alright. I'm going to save this Canarasaurus. I'm not just going to play it out because we know his last card's a 0/1. Now he's going to need to put 3 more spider eggs in my deck. Spiderling eggs aren't too bad. It's the tarantula eggs that are terrifying. They're the 5/5s that'll kill my chicken. So I want to find cards that draw cards, but I also don't at the same time. I want to just find a Root Father. Oh, that was a mistake. I messed up. I should have played... There was no reason not to play this and Aegis guy. Arachnophobia. God, just like super blown out. Just clicked. That's so gross. It didn't occur to me that he had a 1/1, and then he just drew a card that was basically Mind Rot. So now I have less pressure on the table. He still has a guy. Well, that lets me draw 2 cards. Hopefully they're not... I guess I should attack him first because I could draw a thing that makes him a 5/5. There are 3 cards in my 52 that make him 5/5s when I draw them. Should have rippled the spider. Okay, yeah, that's true too. Should have just done all of that. Yeah. And we drew 2 shards. Alright. At least it lets me activate my champion power. The champion powers are also nice in this game because they kind of help you mitigate flooding a little bit. I think I just want more threats. We didn't bounce the spider because I was clicking too quickly. I should have fought the spider on my turn, and then when I didn't fight the spider, I should have bounced it. Well, at least he's flooding too. Just hopefully we hit spells before we hit spider eggs. So he's chumping here, which is unfortunate because again we would definitely be winning this race if I hadn't. And I click past my combat. I need to stop. I need to slow down. I have plenty of time on the clock. This is game 2. Spells. Alright, that's a draw 3. I guess I'm gonna attack first. Because that's right. So now we're an extra turn behind. So we're like 4 turns behind because of mistakes. And hopefully this draws spells and not spider eggs. And hopefully at the very least it doesn't draw tarantula eggs. Well, that's kind of a spell. I guess this was the downside to playing it post-combat, is I could have drawn and played this. And we want to activate Winter's Moon's ability ASAP just constantly because it increases the density of spells in my deck. Put a counter magic back in, and I think an arcane focus. So I kind of just want to like create a higher density of cards. Yeah, so like I know there's like a bunch of spiders in my deck, and like missing the couple of turns that I've missed has just been so awful. So I think he would be dead by now if I hadn't made the few mistakes that I made. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'd be dead and we'd at least be getting a 3rd game. Hopefully we still get a 3rd game, but Definitely made a couple of mistakes to let the game last this long. He's almost caught up to us in how many shards he has. He's got 11. We've got 15. Spells. Spells. Not tarantula eggs. Hey, that's a good spell. That's a good spell for a number of reasons. So we're going to attack with the Cluckodon here. Puts him dead on board. Put 2. These cost 6, but I think it's worth putting it back in the deck, especially as a Windsinger now. We got 16 resources, so... Oh, this was the one we'd already cast, so... I think I want to decline here, because I don't want to hit a Tarantula. Nah, that's statistically wrong. Okay. Alright, he's set on board. Alright, I think I have to play this and risk him drawing a Tarantula. Sweet, we didn't. We got it. If he doesn't have a removal spell, sweet. So made some mistakes there, but fought through. The sideboard plan seems reasonable. I definitely like the pile of verdicts with him having like the Mind Rot effects and stuff like that. I said I might want Cripple or Turbulence because he has Vampire Princess, but he saw a lot of cards that game and only had one Vampire Princess, so I think he might not have a lot of those. So I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Would you bring in Cripple or Turbulence in this matchup? Is that better than any of these other cards I'm playing? Like, maybe the Kronkosaur is not very good, but I guess this can clean up Tarantulas, which is probably valuable. Like, killing his guys is pretty important. Buccaneer actually might be okay. I like that Canarosaurus can kill them. I kind of want Buccaneers in the draw, so that way... Sappers are quick versus Azure. That's fair. I think I'm going to try Buccaneers in the draw and maybe a couple of Sappers instead of those. I'm going to board out a... They usually have a playset of Vampire Princess post sideboard. I'm going to port out a Counter Magic. And that's kind of clunky on the draw. I think I'm going to board out the Dinglinger too. It won me the first... It put me kind of in the first game, but it's really expensive. Yeah, the Azure is kind of like his combo card, basically. He flashes it in and then mills me out. So yeah, some Sappers is probably good. Yeah, I had that happen last night. I clicked past the trigger and I could have killed it in response, and then we got bombed out, and I was like, oh, jeez. Yep, I have to mulligan. Yep, I have to mulligan. Alright, this hand's good. Now this hand's okay, like it's just a pile of cantrip. This game's very similar to Magic and has some mechanics that Magic can't do. I like it a lot. What happened was not the mill trigger, not like a trigger on her herself, but my opponent played another card after her, and I could have responded to that card and didn't. I'm going to Shard of Instinct. Alright, we drew... Time Ripple's a good draw. It lets us interact with him at least. He's probably going to have his 2-drop on 2 like every other game. No 2-drop. That's good for me. I'm going to play Shard of Instinct now so that way we can Oracle Song. I guess this is bad. Vampire Princess costs 3, doesn't it? So this is bad if he has Vampire Princess. Maybe I'm supposed to play the Wild Shard and hold up Time Ripple / Peak. If he goes Vampire Princess here, I'm obligated to Time Ripple it. Yeah, so he has Princess here. I guess if we draw Buccaneer, this is good. Play versus draw, too strong. Bounce. Maybe we'll get lucky and I'll miss a shard. Shuffle these back in. We can replay his Princess now. Hopefully we hit a Time Ripple or a blue resource so we can peek into it. Oh, I think I have to try and peek for a resource here. Yep, I'm going to do that. And then we can actually play Kronkosaurus next turn, which is nice. Hopefully we get lucky and he hits the 50% that are these. When he attacks here, I'm going to peek in before we take damage, because we might grab a shard here, or another creature. Yeah, so we're going to grab this green shard, so that way, when this card hits us, it reveals a card at random from our hand, and if it's an action, he takes it away. So now we have a 75% chance of having a non-action here. Come on, yeah. See you, Root Father. We're tapped out here, so hopefully he just plays some threats out, and then we get to Kronkosaurus him. This card fights 2 things when it comes into play, but it has to have 2 things to fight. So I can't fight just his Princess, unfortunately. Okay, that's what's in my graveyard, just 2 peaks. No, I do not want to concede. I'll try and draw 2. Alright, well if we were going to brick, that was a nice way to brick. Because now he only has a 20% chance of hitting an action. Normally, my deck's mostly action, so this card's very likely to hit stuff. Alright, 80% chance of being happy with this attack. If he takes my divination, we're probably screwed. Vampire Kings cost like $30 right now. God bless America. Hit the 20% just every time. Super unfortunate. I'm just going to cycle this back into my deck before we get more spider eggs in it. Draw another non-spell. That's great. Well, at least we know he won't be able to take a card next turn. I actually wouldn't mind him hitting a spider. Well, I guess... Oh, stop. Oh, right. The hotkeys are kind of broken. Maybe I should have played the Cluckodon there. That's tough. He obviously has counter magic and removals. Alright, I'm going to play the Cluckodon. Because if he counters it, I can counter back and then get the card.